since we didn't get our asses kicked out, have an opening statement for you all tonight. But no, just obviously hard-fought win in the balance for the most part, the whole 45 minutes. I don't know what the largest lead by either team was. Looked like 3 and 7, and in the second half, I'm not sure if it was even that much by either team. So really hard league, but proud of our guys. Thankful for all the alumni and their families for being back. Had a good time spending some time with those guys last night and their families, and thankful to get out of here with a win and look forward to moving on and getting ready for the next one.
Mike, Avery said that the last shot, part of it was he wanted to make up for all the defensive miscues. How did you see him play today and play through some of that and respond?
Yeah, I never worry about his courage, his competitiveness, or his desire to have the ball in moments like that. And you know, again, it's a sign of growth that he can own the challenges that he had on the defensive end, because they're real, and that's how you get better. Is you take accountability for your mistakes so you can learn from them. But his teammates kept encouraging him, and that's a sign of guys being bought into one another, and no one was surprised that he was confident in taking the last shot. Wish he had waited a couple more seconds, but you got to take the game winner when you can get it.
Was that the design?
No, it wasn't. The play kind of broke up. 1K actually went too early to start, but sometimes the moment can kind of get big, and you kind of lose sight of again at the it's kind of similar to what happened at the end of the half. We're up 5, and we get a stop, and Rondell goes with no shot clock, and then they make a 3. Well, in that case, you want to be up 5 at the least at halftime. And then at the end of regulation, you just want to take the last shot. You miss it, go to double overtime. So we went a little quick, but, fortune was on our side today.
Mike, you guys have had close games of late that have gone the other way. What did you see from the group this time around that helped them manage to pull it out?
We didn't have a whole lot of head hanging or wide-eyed looks. I think the guys were determined that they were going to be able to make plays when we needed them. Obviously, Bryce Thompson and Avery get to come in here and talk to you guys, but 1K could have very easily been MVP of the game. I mean, his passing was sensational. The lobs, the skip passes for threes that got those guys open shots were plays that we really, really needed. And obviously, defensively, they all did a really good job containing or at least making those guards take difficult shots.
What did you make of Ice's defense on the stretch, particularly in the last shot of regulation on time?
Yeah, it was who Ice is when he's at his best. He can guard, I would say, 90% of anybody's roster in the country. There's some guys like Kofi Coburn I'm not sure I would want to match him up on, maybe Zach Edey. But other than that, man, he can guard anybody's 1 through 5, and I feel good that he's going to be in position to make it a toss-up at worst. So against a smaller guard where he can put his length, his big hands, and can move his feet, great anticipation. Wasn't surprised at all. It's the reason why he's mostly guarding the other team's best players.
How are you able to, after they get the 3 free throws there at the end, it seemed like a questionable call, I guess you could say. How are you able to reset, and how are the guys able to reset and still find a way to win?
We practice situations all the time. I'm glad you said what you said, so I don't have to. But the truth is, I sometimes in practice will make a bad call myself, and I foul Musa out. And he'll lose his mind because he doesn't want to foul out of practice. But situations come up, and you just got to be ready for the next thing, kind of like at halftime. Can we learn from what just happened? All right, let's move on. At the end of the game, what's next? If they make 3 free throws, then we need to take the last shot. If they miss one, we got to be prepared to get a rebound, and then it's a free throw game. And so I think the guys are just locked into the next assignment.
What do you have? Probably his most involvement all season, the 9-point season high. What did you see in him today?
That's what I've seen in him over the last month or so is progress and commitment to the things that we deem important for our program to have success. And if he continues to do that, he's obviously got a lot of talent. He just got to continue to search for the intangible things that are required to become a great player and be a contributing player on a really, really good team.
Keelan was on the bench today but didn't feature. What was the reason behind that?
Woody was just more ready, and so that's what the minutes went.
You guys were 4 for 5 from 3 in overtime after, struggling from 3 all year. What does that kind of say about the guys, and is being clutch like a real thing, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, I think having courage is a real thing, but you don't control the ball going in the basket. I mean, so having enough confidence to take the heat for missing is really what it's about, right? Because it's 50-50 every time you throw it up there. That's what makes it hard. People lose their jobs on whether the ball goes in the basket, and the best that's going to happen is 50% of the time, unless you are shooting a lot of layups. But I've always believed that we have good shooters. They haven't done it consistently. They'll get better. They're young kids. They just got to keep working at it, and we got to keep putting them in positions where they understand where their shots are coming from. I thought it was the most catch-and-shoot threes that BT's taken. Avery's got more comfortable taking those shots. A lot of times those guys want to make plays off the dribble. And as a player, you got to grow and understand that that's not always the best thing to do.
I think it was last week we talked about winning given your situation.
Yeah.
What do you think it says about the pride and fight your guys are showing right now?
Yeah, it says a lot. I mean, what they're doing is really hard. I mean, I know it's hard to feel bad for kids because they are privileged. They have a tremendous opportunity in front of them. But to tell a young person that no matter how well you do, you have no chance to do the thing that everybody wants to do at the end. It's pretty psychologically impactful. And for them to keep fighting and competing, for us to be able to do it in front of a lot of our former players who laid the foundation for us to be here, is huge. And I hope it's something we can build on. And I look forward to continuing to work with these kids as we put this program in a place where everybody around here believes it can and should be. Right now, I think we're in the top half of the league or tied for the 5th place or whatever. That's important. We don't usually talk about those things, but we got to hold on to everything we can with this team.
To be clear on Keelan, it wasn't an injury today?
He's not injured.
Okay, and then with Caleb, the guys, Avery and BT, came in here and talked about just the little things he does, tipping balls, blocking shots. How important is that in a game like this today that's so tight?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate. We have 5 men, essentially, that can all bring kind of something different. Sometimes makes rotations a little difficult, but Caleb had the hot hand in the first half, and we try to continue to play through him because they were playing small. Then when they went bigger, we went with Moose a little bit more to rebound the ball a little bit better. So there's a great balance. Tyreek's one who can switch 1 through 5, so you saw him in there late, and so it's a luxury in many ways. And look forward to continuing to watch these kids develop.
You did those 3 with MA too, and you got much better production than you did the first time you played Kansas State. What was the difference, you think, there?
Most of the time, it's always mentality. I mean, you got to give the other team credit for doing what they do, but when you have talent and you work hard and then you're locked in mentally, good things usually happen. If you don't have talent, it's hard to do anything. But if you have talent and you don't work hard, you're going to be really inconsistent. And if you have talent and you work hard sometimes and you don't have the mentality to be your best, then you have even less success. So just continue to preach that message because what they hear outside of our locker room is they're great already. And they don't need to be coached. And they're all going to the NBA. When the fact is, maybe a couple of them may have a chance. I got a couple guys back here now who, we talked about them. They're winding path, really good players. And Juwan Evans has had a hard time cracking that place, and he was unbelievable here. Just tells you how hard it is. And so young kids need to relax, get comfortable in college, enjoy this experience, and try to learn as much as they can.
I think K-State shot 32 threes. How difficult can that be from a rebounding aspect? You get a lot of long rebounds, and it seemed like they were able to get, some uncontested dunks late because you guys were defending threes.
Yeah, we obviously sold out to taking away the threes late, and the big kid 20 got a couple just drop off layups, but you got to give up something. It's an imperfect game. Every coach in this league is good enough to take advantage or adjust to what you do. Just like they took out their bigs, we went with Caleb. We went offensively inside. They sub back. It's kind of give and take game in that regard. But they're dangerous because they can all shoot it from so deep. I mean, Noel, that was a very comfortable shot for him, almost at half court. I mean, he was making those shots at Little Rock last year. We watched him on film. I know the kid for a long time. Impact the same way. I mean, all 3 of his end-of-half threes in the first game, the 2 in the first game and the 1 at the end of the half here were all highly contested shots. And so they keep you on edge. And if you don't take away the threes, you got no chance to beat them.
You mentioned the talent. BT seems to be kind of one of those guys. Was this maybe a glimpse of what he can do?
We've seen it a few times this year. It's a part of the process that I kind of boringly went through with you guys, right? A couple weeks back. You get in college, you have no idea what's going on. And because you think you're so good, you probably don't listen as much as you should. And then you start speaking English with your coaches. And your talent can show a little bit. And eventually you become like Kofi Coburn. It was like Shaquille O'Neal. Because he's older enough, he's been through it, he's probably doing what his coaches asked him to do, and his team's going to be a really good team in the NCAA tournament. It's part of the process. Just nobody likes that process anymore.
Anything else for Coach?
Quick turnaround with Baylor.
Yeah.
What do you kind of see from them lately? They've been dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, it's part of the season. Go through it. Things happen, and defending national champs, right? So they'll come in here with an edge. Got several guys who were part of that team last year still playing for them. And obviously, at this point, I would imagine, I can't speak for them, that they're talking about seeding, either conference tournament or NCAA tournament, and those large hopes that I wish we were talking about. And so there's a lot riding on the line for everybody this time of year.
There's like a whole saying that like the scariest person is a guy with nothing to lose. Is there an aspect of that to you guys, or you think that teams probably don't want to play you very much right now because you don't have anything to lose, you can do whatever?
I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak for how other people view us. I would hope they view us as a team that's going to compete hard and not going to be easy, but not that we're going to play recklessly, because we're not going to do that. We're going to have a game plan. We're going to try to play to our strengths, and we're going to ride with the guys who are doing the things that we ask them to do to give us a chance to win.
All good.
Thanks a lot, guys.